Hey everybody, what is up? Welcome back to Final Trade. I made a video a couple months ago about the new Conan comic book series that started last year, and I just wanted to come back, talk about it again, because it is still delivering and there's still plenty of time for you to get all the back issues if you're interested in it. Jim Zub has been writing this. He wrote for Marvel for a long time, doing Conan there, and when the IP came over to Titan Comics last year, they picked him up to continue writing. I think he's done a very, very good job. It's a very entertaining comic book in the style of old sword and sorcery, ultra violent, lots of nudity, lots of gore, lots of blood, a bunch of sex, and just great story. So you can get these as a four-issue omnibus. So this is the one containing issues 1 through 4. This contains 5 through 8. And then I switched over and I just started getting the individual issues from my local comic book store. So you can see issue 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I think issue 14 came out last week. You can go down to your local comic book store. You can just ask them. They'll get them back ordered from their distributors who probably still have them, should have all of them. I'll put some affiliate links down below to some of these on Amazon that are available there, but not everything's available. And these omnibus collections of 4 issues at a time, they run about 4 months after the single issues. So, once you get this issue 12 published, it'll still be another 4 months before the omnibus collecting these 4 issues comes out. So that's why I went ahead and just switched over to the monthly publication of single issues. And your local store can set up a pull list for you, which basically means you tell them all the comic books that you want them to set aside a copy of you every week when the new comics come in, and they'll hold them for you. They'll make sure they have enough issues to stock their shelves and hold to the side all of the series that you've requested. And then you can just come in typically once a month, pick up everything that they've held aside for you if you're into a bunch of different series. Now, what Titan has also released is Battle of the Black Stone. So this is a separate series, and you'll see this is the free comic book day issue, which are sometimes called the issue 0. And this was kind of premiering Battle of the Black Stone. Now, if I had to describe what this series is, it's going to be, as I understand, kind of a not multiverse, but like a universe, a cinematic universe kind of thing with a bunch of different characters from Robert Howard's writing. Of course, Robert Howard was the gentleman who originally wrote Conan, wrote Solomon Kane, and wrote those other characters back in the 1930s. Valerian and Red Sonja and a bunch of others. He had about 12, 15 different characters that he regularly wrote. And so Battle of the Black Stone will be this kind of collection of those characters coming together in a series. And what they're planning to do with this is release an issue every month, the same way they do with Conan the Barbarian. And occasionally there will be crossovers between these series. And it remains to be seen if they're going to give Solomon Kane his own series that also runs and crosses over from time to time. I hope they do. I think Solomon Kane is a great character. And then the third thing they've got is the Savage Sword of Conan. And so this is a basically magazine that's released every other month, and it will typically have a standalone Conan story. And then the first 3 issues contained a 3-part Solomon Kane story. It'll have other modern writings set in the Conan universe. It'll have reprints of some original Robert Howard works from time to time, and some things just explaining history of the series, history of the characters, history of the writings, stuff like that. So the next issue of this comes out next week on Wednesday, I think. The issue number 1 of this comes out either this Wednesday or Wednesday next week. I can't remember exactly. But typically, comic books are released 1 issue per month, and this magazine is released 1 issue every other month. Like I said, these are very, very entertaining, and they do not disappoint in terms of gore and blood and fighting and manliness and awesomeness that you would expect from something paying homage to the 1980s style sword and sorcery type stories. So, like I said, I'll have affiliate links below for the couple of things that you can pick up on Amazon if you just wanted to, get these two that represent the first 8 issues and give it a try. You could do that. Or, really, what I would recommend is going down to your local comic book store, talking with the guy behind the counter, and asking him if he can just get everything back ordered for you from his distributor. Typically, they can get that stuff in about a week sent over from distribution, and then you can pick it all up at once. But like I said, they just started this series of Conan the Barbarian. I think it was June of last year, and Savage Sword of Conan started a couple months after that. So everything is still widely available. None of it's really hard to get yet at all. Let me know what you think if you've been reading these or if you picked them up after the first time I recommended them a couple of months ago. I think it's definitely a deal. One of these comic books nowadays costs about $4.50, something like that. So it won't break the bank, and it is very, very entertaining. Thanks everyone who makes this content possible, especially my very generous supporters on Patreon. Like, comment, share, and subscribe, and join me on Final Trade.